Good evening. Can you hear me?
Hey, Tim.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hi, Jill.
Can you hear me? Is it working?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, good. Sorry, I've been having troubles today with my home setup. So
Gotcha. Mary Jo will not be joining us tonight.
okay. Let's see here. We got Sarah, and Steve in the waiting room. My plan is to get the minutes approved. I guess show the FYI, we are live stream right now. Just show
Okay.
the attendance report. We'll send this out to them after the meeting. I have a minor hearing update. I don't really have much for 160D. I don't know if anybody else does. Jill, I don't know if you can hear me, but I do have a couple projects on the horizon that sound like they might be requesting variances.
Okay, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm on the phone.
Okay. No, yep. And we got your message about that too. So no worries. That's all good.
Okay.
I just want to give you a heads up that, from a board being ready for a hearing perspective, that sounds like we have a pretty serious
Great.
one possibly coming forward any day now, seeking October for some type of date.
Okay.
All right. Just see.
And
Lori
I don't have any updates
Okay.
on 160D.
Okay. The only thing I had was that I'm in the process of ordering signs for staff, but that's not really an update. So I don't have anything. Tree canopy funding is the board's item. I don't have anything really for tree ordinance guidelines and development. I have a little bit of a UDO update. It's really more of a timing and expectations. So I really don't have a lot of, from my perspective, staff-driven items that's going to take up a lot of time. So we'll just see kind of where they go with their stuff. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay.
Yep.
Lori, Henry, I see you
Okay.
there. You guys have anything you really want to talk about? All right.
Not today.
I do not.
Okay.
Tim, by the way, I cannot see the waiting room folks. I only see us, the ones who are already in, so I cannot let people in. You'll have to do that.
Okay, I just made you a co-host. I'll. Sorry, I appreciate you letting me know. I'm gonna let them all in right now. Though, so here we
Okay.
go. There's 4 folks,
Oh, yeah, I see now.
so you should be a co-host now.
Yeah, I can see everybody now.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual September 2021 Charlotte Tree Advisory Commission meeting. We have 4 board members here. Hopefully you can all hear me. Let me know if you can't. Okay, good evening, everyone. We have a quorum now, so I just wanted to let you know that, Kim, and hopefully everyone can see my screen, that you should be able to see a agenda.
Yes.
Okay. So Kim, however you want to do it.
All right. Since we have a quorum, shall we go ahead and call the meeting to order? Have any moves for that, motions for that after? Or should we do roll call first? All
I'm a
right.
motion to call the meeting to order.
Yeah. Since you've called us to order, I can go ahead and do the roll.
Okay.
Okay. Banks. Davis.
Here?
Gagne.
Here.
Hart.
Here.
Holmes.
Here.
Negrin. Massa.
Here,
McGowan. Roberts. And Welch.
here.
And that's the roll.
Excellent. We want to go on to minutes, approving the minutes of the last meeting.
Sure, absolutely. Hopefully you can see that now, board members. Set up on your screen.
I would make a motion to approve the August minutes.
Like to second the meeting minutes?
Okay, I'll go ahead and call the roll to approve. Banks. Davis.
Yes?
Gagne.
Yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Holmes.
Yes.
Negrin. Massa.
Yes,
Gowan. Roberts. And Welch.
Yes.
And that motion carries. The minutes are approved.
Excellent. So
Okay.
on to new business.
Saw that Scott and Nate just joined, so welcome. Gentlemen, we just called the meeting to order and approved the minutes. So that's where we are now. We're moving on to attendance. I do have an attendance report. It's been a little bit of time, but Kim, I wanted to just put that on the screen, and Natasha's going to send this out to the board after the meeting. But
Okay.
does that work? Well, however you want to.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Approach. Okay.
Good, good.
So tracking for calendar year 2021. P equals present, A is absent, E excused, C is canceled. And minor update on meeting attendance. Right now, it's my understanding we will be meeting virtually indefinitely. I do feel strongly it's going to at least go into October. So, however, there may be a time this fall by the end of the calendar year where we do transfer back to in person. And I'm just waiting for guidance from the clerk's office on that. So that's where we're at now. So.
Okay.
All right. Unless there's any questions or comments, we'll move on. And again, Natasha will send this out after the meeting. And Kim and board members, please let myself or Natasha know if the arrangement of agenda items on this agenda should be, altered. If there's old business where there should be new business or vice versa, or projects should be moved somewhere else. I'm not sure how crucial it is, but just let us know if there's a better place to place things.
Okay.
So,
And I don't know, yeah, exactly. I guess it depends on, as far as talking about new business, I don't know if Charlie had anything he wanted to discuss today or perhaps not. Otherwise, then we can move on to old business, which just discussions. And also thank you for members who submitted information last time, or not information, but their concerns and their passion, I guess, really regarding, being on CTAC, and not so much that specifically, but the increased funding we talked about that we felt like the landscape management and tree department needs in the Charlotte area. And Charlie was kind of spearheading that, and Steve Massa had a really great input as well. So thank you. And if I missed anybody else, I apologize. I was out of town and I might have missed an email here, but thank you again for those. So I don't know if there's any discussion we need to have on that now, or proceed with old business first. Tim,
that's a great point, because we do have so item C for both old business and projects is items that the board's brought forward. The rest of the items are B and C for both old business and projects. Excuse
Okay.
me. A and B for both old business and projects are staff-driven items. So that kind of was my motivation for bringing up where to place this stuff. If it's something that's priority and you want to put those things at the top of our agenda, I totally understand that. And I'm just happy, Kim, just let me know your thoughts on that, on how to arrange the agenda.
Okay.
Right now, it's a little bit just, it's on there and we get to it wherever it is. But
right.
anyway, just
Okay.
a thought. So I'm happy to move on to hearing updates, or
Yes,
you want to
move
okay.
on to that, unless anybody, like I said, wants to speak up now. Otherwise, we'll go on to the hearing updates.
Okay, I'm not seeing anybody talking or unmuting. So hearing updates, very basic. I do have a couple possibilities on the horizon. So that may be something we have to carve out time for on future meeting agendas, Kim, and I'll keep you and of course, the board and the attorney's office posted on that. But that may be something that this fall we see. So as we're just planning, the board's work, that could be something that's definitely on the agenda. And historically, those have been about an hour, but As that becomes more of a certainty, we'll talk and kind of coordinate with Jill to make sure we're managing that.
Okay.
Um,
Pardon me.
that's the only updates that I have. 160D, I don't have any update other to say that I'm ordering signs as required by that new statute. We have to post signs on properties where there has been I believe it's a hearing. I'm not sure if it's just an appeal hearing, but similar to the way that the Zoning Board of Adjustment Historic District Commission process works, there'll be signs going up in front of properties that are part of a hearing.
Is Jill on here?
Yes.
Okay, I'll defer to her. I think I know the answer, but I'll defer to Jill.
Hi, yes. Yeah, any hearings, appeal hearings or variance hearings. Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Jill and Karen. And that's really, and that's 100% a staff thing where it's a process change for us where we have to go out and place that. It's more of a public, awareness type requirement. Okay. So moving on to item C under old business. And I'm going to step back because that's a board related item. Is that something that needs discussion? If not, I can move on, however the board wants to handle that.
Yes, no, I think we wanted to chat a little bit about that. And again, like I said, Steve had some good comments as to, importance of street trees for so many things, health and ambiance, et cetera, and the need for increased funding in order to enable that, not only the purchase of trees, planting of trees, management of trees. And then Charlie, again, like I say, I don't know if you wanted to pitch in on anything tonight or not.
Well, I can give you a short update. So sure. So the ball's in my court. I have a letter for you, Kim, that I have written that is 85% done. I was waiting on a couple of other pieces of information to kind of help, some comparable information. And at this point, I think I'll just send something to you. So I'm just going to finish it as it is. And if I get some other information, I can add to it. And I was going to say the same thing. Thanks for Natasha. Thanks for forwarding those. Steve and others. Thanks for your comments. Those are really helpful. Really helpful. So anyway, I was hoping to have something to you by now, Kim, but we'll get it to you here pretty soon.
No worries. Very good. Then I guess we can move on to, thank you, Charlie. Go ahead.
Kim, yeah, this is Lori with Landscape Management. So Charlie, we did get a few responses from some comparable cities in North Carolina. So
Okay.
Natasha has compiled that information. So I can get you some information tomorrow, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Lori.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have all the cities we reached out to, but I'd say I think we're missing 2 cities. So we'll give the rest.
Well, just send me the ones that help our argument. Don't send me the other ones. No, just kidding. Obviously. No, that'd be great. Just Natasha can email them or whatever. That'd be terrific. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And just to provide a little bit of extra clarity, I just want to make sure the board's aware that both Lori's side and my side, we're working to gather some information. So we are forwarding that on to make sure we can get as much that can help out that effort. So we are still, we're still waiting for some feedback, but it's great that we've gotten some. So we're happy to continue to assist on that.
Yeah, and thank you, Tim. What you've sent has been helpful. And I emailed Andrew. He sent, was it the Waterstone project? Waterstone. What was the consulting group that sent us that had the paper on Alston, DC, and Atlanta?
The Center for Watershed Protection.
Watershed. Thank you. I don't know if I asked him. I'm sure he'll email it to me. But if you have someone,
okay.
I can't find that study. I know y'all sent it to me.
Oh, sure.
I've lost it in the past couple of weeks, and I can't find it in my inbox anywhere.
So, yeah,
anyway,
absolutely.
and thank you for the other stuff that you sent. That's been helpful.
Okay.
That.
Yep, absolutely.
Any other comments? Otherwise, move on to projects, I assume.
Okay. So I do think we are closer to getting a consistent monthly or every other month slew of tree ordinance guidelines for the board to review and comment on. And that, again, is to support two main focus areas. One is what we need now to improve process and better support and clarify ordinance requirements and general tree canopy policy objectives. And then there's the UDO related. Now, of course, we're waiting on UDO related items because that really has to go through a public review process. It would be inappropriate to develop guidelines based on proposed UDO regulations until those regulations have been vetted and supported in some way. So the first few months of tree ordinance guidelines that will be presented to the board will be related to items that need attention now. Largely development requirements, but there's also some there's a lot of overlap. Everything's not just development related. So there's other areas such as utility management. There may be some general just best practices that could be community focused more so than development focused. But I do think we'll start seeing those before the end of the year. That's my goal anyway. That's the only update I have on that. Kim, unless you or the board have any other questions, I can move on to TCAP and UDO.
I don't have any questions regarding that. I don't know if anybody else does.
Okay. And moving forward, I think we'll change this next agenda item to just unified development ordinance, because TCAP has been completed for some months now. It's still very relevant in our day-to-day, but we're definitely focused on the UDO. So the Unified Development Ordinance draft is coming together. I'm not sure there's an official draft yet, but many of the ordinances that are being combined into that greater document have been reviewed and prepared for the initial draft review for the consultant. There is a timeline seeking public rollout in early October. At that point, the proposed guidelines, the proposed requirements and ordinance concepts that came out of TCAP for the tree article, we're going to call it the tree article. It's going to take me a while to move from tree ordinance to tree article. It doesn't roll off the tongue the same way, but that's, I envision some discussion by the board on the proposed black and white language and requirements there. It'll be out for public review and commenting for many months. The main takeaway from this update really is the timeline is early October. I think that could slide a little bit later, but we're working hard to make sure we get it out as soon as possible. That's the update I have for the UDO. Any questions on that?
Now, is that then something that there can be public comment or is it just, well, I guess.
Yes.
How open is it to any kind of change or amendment or modification?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely. The initial draft is like really, it's clay. It's going to be molded and changed significantly based on public comment. So the public comment period, I don't have the timeline in front of me, but it's many months. It's going to go into next calendar year, most likely. So it'll be many months of public comment. So I envision, just like TCAP and the comprehensive plan, there'll be different types of engagement there. There'll be many events. Right now, probably largely virtual, but there's going to be a lot of public outreach events and things like that. There'll be a lot of just general events. There'll be a lot of general opportunities for general comment, public to comment. There'll also be any type of groups to comment. I'm sure certain development industry groups will comment, but any other type of ranging from HOAs to specific interest groups. Yeah, there'll be a lot of opportunity, and the city is going to take on a very large campaign to get the word out and try to, solicit as much feedback as possible.
Excellent. Good.
So certainly nothing set in stone there. Other than any of the 160D related process things, that is set in stone. We're not changing that stuff. There has been some procedural things changed again by 160D that applies to a lot of these development ordinances, if not all of them. Related to that, I will say I mentioned this some months ago, there is interest in pursuing a greater UDO board. It's the quasi judicial role for the tree commission, and many other appointed boards may shift to this greater UDO board. So.
And I don't know if the 160D, I mean, that's going back a little bit. Somewhere I missed that. I mean, I know you were saying the 160D is going to require, posting on the property of any upcoming, whatever violations or discussion. But what else did that relate to? And I somehow missed that somewhere. The 160D.
I'll do a very quick synopsis and really.
Okay, I mean, I don't want to
refer to Jill. It's very much procedural focused for development permitting processes and boards like the tree commission. It's very much focused on procedural items there. And Jill, sorry to put you on the spot. You may have to kind of augment that description a little bit.
Sure. If I can remember off the top of my head, I apologize, because I've dealt with 160D with several boards. But for CTAC, if I recall, and I think did I send out a memo to y'all? I feel like I did, maybe before the August meeting. But there weren't really any significant changes. Like Tim said, everything, a lot of things were just making things consistent across different boards, so that notice requirements to property owners are consistent and hearing procedures are consistent. As Tim mentioned, one of the new provisions requires notice by posting a sign so that neighboring property owners and the public are aware that there's going to be a notice regarding that property. But there are other things, practices that this board and other boards have been consistently doing, but haven't actually been codified in a statute. So things like all board members must, take an oath of office. If you have rules of procedure, they must be posted on the website. So that's one thing we did take care of for CTAC. Trying to think of some of the others. I think the biggest change for this commission was that variances would come straight to the commission, requests for variances, whereas I think under the previous ordinance, it was only if a request for a variance was denied, then it would come to the board. So that was really probably the most significant change. But some of the other things regarding hearings, really the ordinance just codified rules of due process that are already been established, through case law, through judicial law, but now it's actually in an ordinance. So, but those are procedures that, this board and other boards have already been doing, but now it's a statute. Now it's a state law. So
okay,
I
great.
think that covers everything.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I would just quickly echo Jill's comment about the staff authority for variances. That has already impacted. I think I can speak for Henry, who manages the urban forestry team day to day. That has impacted that team's work and changed a little bit how we manage permitting things. So that authority to on a staff level administratively just authorize a variance has, not that we were authorizing a lot of variances, but our interpretation of that based on talking to Karen and others changes how we manage that. So and we may see that play out over the next couple of months if the handful of possible variance hearing discussions move forward. So but circling back to the UDO, there will likely be a proposed article, a chapter where there is many boards, quasi-judicial processes kind of combined into one area, now heading to one board. And I can talk in much more detail about that in just a couple of weeks, and we can have discussions on that. And I see that Mr. Roberts has his hand up.
Hey, Tim, just a quick question. When with all the reviewing of the UDO, will there actually come to a point where this board has line by line commentary on it? And is it weighted differently than public commentary, or?
So I believe the board, if so chooses, wants to fulfill that advisory role. Yeah, I think the board can take the UDO and go through it line by line if you wanted to. And, I would certainly look for Jill to help you, advise and guide you through that process is the best way. It's going to be a very long, big document. And the tree article will certainly be not the longest, but it's pretty lengthy. So yeah, that opportunity is there. Absolutely.
But it's not a formal role of this board. That's something we have the opportunity to do, but wouldn't necessarily be one of the steps in getting it passed.
No, to my knowledge, there's no official kind of on this extremely long timeline of all the steps in the process. There's no check with the tree commission step on there. However, I have messaged multiple times to my leadership that we should expect the board to take that on.
Thank you.
Sorry, my son's doing homework. That's something I support. That's that advisory role of the board, and I'm excited that we have a motivated, engaged board here. So it sounds good to me. That's all I have for UDO. Any other questions? I'm looking to see if there's any hands popping up. Each virtual software product has different kind of hands up notification tools. So I get lost sometimes when I switch back and forth. Okay, no, I don't see anybody. Okay, Kim, that last agenda item.
Tree canopy
Sure.
policy. Correct.
And I'm not sure if there was discussion. I don't know if we had something from you or somebody else for this month.
I don't believe so. I think it was, we were kind of focusing on one topic at a time, as far as starting with the funding, and to make a recommendation to city managers. So I think that was the plan, unless anybody else had anything passionate that we wanted to discuss from another topic standpoint. And I guess the UDO would be the thing that we'll be looking for coming up, as far as what's going to be stated on tree preservation policy. Everybody knows about the state. I guess we got under the wire on the state regulation regarding what cities and municipalities can do in their own tree regulation. Is that right? The state Senate, it passed the Senate and now still pending in the legislature, or one or the other, regarding tree save or clearing.
I don't know. Kim, I believe you're referring to one of the House bills that was out there from the General Assembly about, I don't know if I haven't heard any other update for multiple weeks now about where that's at. It's my understanding it's still
Just sitting there.
stuck somewhere in the, I can't remember if it's the House or the Senate.
think it moved, went past House and now is in the Senate, but at a committee level.
That's mine. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. It's our interpretation still, and make sure Karen nods when I say this, that the local act and the specific language in that House bill should not impact Charlotte's ability to continue to implement our tree ordinance, tree preservation.
I agree, as long as they haven't changed it in the last week.
Right. Assuming there hasn't been any significant edits and red lines. So yeah, that's the understanding. The
Right,
other,
the way
yep, sorry, go ahead, Karen.
No. The way it's written, it says you cannot regulate the removal of trees on private property without a local act, allowing you to do so. And our local act from 1975 specifically allows us to regulate trees on private property. So for those municipalities that don't have a local act allowing them to do that, they will not be able to have their ordinances will become that cover that piece of it will be moot.
Wow. Yeah.
Again, though, many thanks, Sarah. That's my understanding too, that it's sitting in a committee somewhere in this, and I'm not sure if it's expected to go anywhere. I do believe there was an effort, I'm not sure if this is the same thing, to tie it to the budget process. I believe we saw some type of document come through that it might have technically been it wasn't the same House bill, but it was the exact same language tied to a budget. The terminology is going to be wrong, but a budget document that's going to be approved. So I'm not sure where that is either. I think it's still the same status as the actual House bill. It's just kind of sitting on pause right now.
I think that was the Senate bill, right?
I think so.
Maybe.
But again, we don't think there's any impact to the Charlotte tree ordinance based on the language we've seen.
Good, excellent. Yeah, that's our understanding, just concerning.
I have spoken to other, municipal tree staff folks from other cities and towns, and there is concern out there. There's a great deal of concern in locations without that local act.
Yeah, I don't think, like I said, we had any other topics on the tree canopy, unless, like you say, if anybody waves their hand. Anything on anything tree related? I guess then we can move for an adjournment, or is there any other comments? Are there any other comments?
No, I'll just reiterate that we'll send out the attendance tracking sheet to the board, just so everyone has an update on where they're at, what their standing is. And Kim will circle up offline to chat about anything as needed moving forward, hearings or non-hearing related items for the board.
And everybody just continue to, if you have any ideas or thing that you want to share, then send it to Natasha, and then Natasha will send it to me. Anything that we need to bring up at the next board meetings. So I think I make a move for an adjournment.
I'll second.
Meeting.
I think we need someone other than you, Kim, to make the motion.
Okay, all
I'd like
right.
the motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, was that you didn't pop up. Who was that?
Juana.
Thank you, Kawana.
And I'll second. This is Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie. Okay. I'll call the roll. Banks. Davis. I know Kawana's here.
Oh, yes, yes. Here. Sorry. I said something, but I think the sound didn't come through. It's okay.
Okay. Gagne,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes.
Negrin,
Yes.
Massa, McGowan, Roberts,
Yes.
Welch.
Yes.
Motion carries. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Good
Thank
night.
you all.
Good
Thanks,
night.
everybody. Good night.